of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good afternoon, and welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And of course, we're going to have an Eddie Howe press conference reaction. This is a bonus because I'm not at work this afternoon, so I can do this very, very early today. But yeah, we're back to normal football now. Now the World Cup's finally finished. Thank God for that. And I think everybody else is pleased that we can get back to the proper stuff now. So guys, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It really does help the channel up the search settings, and people can find the channel more easily as well. Also, if you're new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, helps the channel grow. And also the bell notification lets you know when I've got a live video on, as I am now, or I put a pre-recorded video on, or any upcoming shows as well. Yeah, so tonight, guys, as well, also, I was going to do a preview, but I'm going to be on with John Sinclair, and then I'm on a Bournemouth FC channel tonight as well to do a match preview with them as well. So I want to say thank you to them for inviting me over and asking me to go on their channel. It's an honour. So yeah, guys, I mean, let's get into it without further ado. So Eddie Howe has a press conference for the first game of the restart, which is the Carabao Cup against Bournemouth tomorrow. Win against Bournemouth tomorrow, and we're in the quarterfinals of the Cup, which we were in a few years ago. Fortunately, we had the worst manager we could have had in the club, and also we ended up going out when we had our perfect chance to get into a semi-final. But I believe this time that won't happen. Eddie Howe will make sure we go out and get the win, and yeah, let's see. So I've got a comment in there. Cheers. Hi, Tony, mate. Hope you're well. Glad to be talking UFC again. Yes, cheers. Absolutely, mate. I mean, it's been a long time coming. It's finally nice now. And hopefully, I might see the channel grow more now. And, you know, in terms of people coming on and subscribing and things like that, because we've had this period of about 4 to 6 weeks where we've had no football apart from the World Cup. And when you can't really talk a lot of Newcastle stuff, people tend to like lose interest and go elsewhere. But there's nothing you can do about it. I'm not just the only channel. All us Newcastle channels, probably Toon Reviews had the same, probably John's had the same, you know. So, but no, it's absolutely fantastic. Back to Newcastle United, back to what we love, back to the club that we absolutely love to bits as well. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. So as I say, guys, yeah, so we're back to the bread and butter, as we call it now. And yeah, so today this guy had his press conference, and we're going to get into the key points of Eddie Howe's press conference as to what he had to say about tomorrow's home game, which is obviously going to be a sellout as well, against Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup. And I've got some more comments here. Sefton, I'm out shopping, but we'll watch this on catch up. Well done with the new intro music. Yeah, cheers, Sefton. I'm glad you like it. And, you know, like I say, really kind of Junior to let me use his material to put on as my intro. So I thank him very much as well. Such a nice guy. And, yeah, so thank you for that as well. So let's, without further ado, as I say it, let's get into the key points from Eddie Howe. So he was then asked about the availability of the Magpie stars who have now returned from the World Cup. So he says, we'll have to wait and see on that one. I spoke with all the international lads when they came back. Obviously, Kieran Trippier and Nick Pope were very keen keen, to play in the game against Rayo Vallecano on Saturday. So obviously Nick Pope and Kieran Trippier wanted to both play. He said, I don't think those conversations are important because those boys have had not just the physical load from being at the World Cup, but the mental side of it can't be underestimated. I'll continue those conversations with the other lads and we'll see where we are. So in other words, what he's saying, you've got the physical load of the World Cup because you've got your training, you've got the hot weather over there. They've been over there for 4 weeks, so they've been over there quite a while. And then obviously they've got to deal with coming back to this climate, back to the, and then obviously the mental side of it, like they're going out with the competition and things like that. So they've got to get all that into perspective as well. And they've got to make sure they're all mentally tuned to play. But I think to be fair, that there shouldn't be a problem with our lads. Bruno's already put it out there. He's happy to be back as well. So yeah, and we'll come on to Bruno in a moment as well. On winner Alan Saint-Maximin's fitness, after he appeared to take a knock during Saturday's friendly win over Rayo Vallecano. So he says, I think there is a slight injury. We'll see how he comes in. Obviously, after a game, things can be so, but they can settle quickly. So hopefully that's the case. So yeah, Eddie Howe is confirming there is a slight injury to Alan Saint-Maximin. And obviously it's just going to be one of those. They have to assess it. Assess it today, maybe assess it tomorrow. If he thinks it's not going to be worth throwing him in tomorrow night, then he'll probably sit him out that game and keep him for Boxing Day against Leicester City. So he did take a knock, but it is a slight injury. But hopefully it's nothing too serious whatsoever. On the importance of the Carabao Cup and the upcoming resumption of the Premier League, he says, I think in terms of the Premier League schedule, it's a good thing to have this game, but we've looked at trying to get ourselves in the best physical condition for this game and not use this game as a step for the Premier League. And we've tried to give this game the same importance as a Premier League game, and for us, it is because it's a chance to progress in a very important competition for us. That's how we approach the game. So basically what he's saying is, while this is a great game to have before the Premier League starts, because it's not a friendly match, it's a serious game, and it's straight back into the action. He wants us not to only go out there and win this game, but he wants us to go out there and get our terms of fitness back to where we were when we left off against Chelsea. So it's nice to have a competitive game before a Premier League game starts again. And he doesn't want to use this as a step. He wants us to go out there and win this game because he wants us in the quarterfinals of that cup. He wants to win this Carabao Cup, and you can see that in his face. He wants to win the Carabao Cup. So I think what he's saying there, he's absolutely spot on. Yes, the Premier League schedule's coming up, but it is nice to have this competitive game just before the Premier League starts next Monday. So week's time we play Leicester City, then on New Year's Eve we have Leeds United. So yeah, we're absolutely buzzing and looking forward to this game tomorrow as well. So yeah, absolutely. Night and E Gaming says, afternoon working but lurking. Great to have you on, mate. Great to have you on. Hope you're doing well, mate. Not seen you for a while. Obviously been working too hard. So yeah, so after that, he was then on the challenge posed by his old club Bournemouth, and the previous meeting between the sides was a 1-1 draw at St James's Park in September this season. Eddie then says, I remember being frustrated and disappointed ultimately, and I don't think we were quite ourselves in that game. I thought we were probably a little bit subdued by our high standards in terms of our performance at that point. Not necessarily the results, but the results have come after that game. I think they're important. It's very important not to underestimate Bournemouth and the quality of their team. I think sometimes that's a dangerous thing to do. I think they've shown, especially with the last couple of results they've got before the break, that they're a very competitive team, and certainly we don't underestimate them going into this game. So he's saying we're not underestimating Bournemouth at all. The thing is, will Bournemouth play a full-strength team tomorrow, or will they play a weakened side because will they not want to get their players injured ahead of this game? So it's a finely tuned balance. So we'll find out what team Bournemouth put out tomorrow. Yes, it'll be a tough game, but I think this time round we'll be better prepared against Bournemouth than we were the last time. It wasn't our greatest game against Bournemouth, and we all know that. We all know it was a poor game, and we got that penalty, thankfully. Yeah, let's go out there tomorrow. Let's just go and hit them, and let's go and win this game and win it comfortably as well. We don't want to go to penalties, just go and win the game comfortably in the 90 minutes, and let's get the job done. And let's get to the quarterfinals, but we don't underestimate Bournemouth in any way, shape, or form. On this prospect of getting back into competitive fixtures in front of the United faithful, he says, I think the wait for this game's been quite long from our perspective, so we're very keen to get back to it, get back to the action, get back to the competitive games. Friendlies are good for what they are, but they are very different games. I know the players are the same. Speaking the international lads, they have come back. They're very keen to get the season restart again, which is a great thing for me to hear and for everyone connected to Newcastle United to hear as well. So what he's saying there is, yes, it's been a long time coming because we've had this unexpected break from the World Cup. But the fans are back. The fans are looking forward to it. It's going to be a full house tomorrow night under the lights as well at St James's Park, and it's on overseas TV as well. So if you're able to watch it somewhere, then happy days. He says, friendlies are good. But friendlies, I've always said, are good for fitness. They're great for fitness. It's your competitive games that you need to be playing in. And to have this game tomorrow ahead of the Premier League is exactly the sort of game we need. And let's get into it. And also, he says, the players are the same. He says, the international lads, so Fabian Schär, Kieran Trippier, Nick Pope, Callum Wilson, Bruno, they're all itching to get into it and get the season going again, which is what you want to hear. I mean, Bruno's pleased to be back to the everyday thing of back to the Newcastle as well. So he's really happy to be back as well. And you know what? Yeah, he might be disappointed he never played much in the World Cup, but I think he's going to say to Brazil, look, when you see what I'm doing for Newcastle, you're going to think, God, we should have played him in the World Cup more often. But their loss, our gain. And at least we know all these lads are fit. So that's even better for us as well. So, because Eddie was asked about Callum Wilson. Will Callum Wilson be fit enough? And he says, Callum Wilson hasn't got an injury. He said, I never said Callum Wilson was injured. He says he had a slight twinge or something over the World Cup. But other than that, he's not injured. He's fine. So I've never said Callum Wilson's out. So well done to Eddie Howe for coming out and answering that question. He was then asked a cheeky question by Keith Downey, because Keith says, what did he think about the World Cup final? He said, well, obviously he was watching that as well as being on his laptop working about for the match for Tuesday. So Eddie Howe, as usual, doing his work on a Sunday afternoon while watching the World Cup final. He said, yes, it was a cracking final. Probably one of the best finals I think we've seen for a long, long time, if not the best. Great advert for football. He says you saw two great players out there. France come back, because you can always say 2-0. It's never over till that full-time whistle goes. Also, Keith Downey then says, yes, Messi's a great player, because obviously Eddie Howe talked about Messi, and he said, I bet you wouldn't mind signing him for Newcastle, would you? And Eddie went, I think that's a bit of a cheeky question to ask me, and laughed about it. So he said, you're not going to get me on that one there. But yeah, I mean, it was always going to come in a cheeky question like that. And it was nice to see Eddie's had a bit of laughter about it as well. But probably secretly, Eddie would think, yeah, I'd love to have Lionel Messi in the team. I know he's 35, but I'll tell you what, if there was a choice between Messi or Ronaldo, and you could have either one of them in your team, I would definitely straight away say I would rather have Messi. Because I'll tell you why I would have Messi, because he's got the attitude. The attitude is spot on. He's the attitude that we like in our dressing room. Yes, he's a big player, and he's treated like a god back in Argentina and Buenos Aires. They said we had the god in Maradona, now we've got a god in Messi as well. But the thing with Messi is, he's not like Ronaldo. He doesn't cry off. He doesn't sulk. He just gets on with it. Yes, he might have been disappointed when France got battered 2-2, but you didn't see his head dropped. He carried on, and he got that goal through tenacity. So that's the class with Lionel Messi over Ronaldo. So if there was a choice, I would say yes, break the bank. Let's go and bring Messi in. I would have him without a shadow of a doubt because his attitude is absolutely spot on. Whereas Ronaldo, I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. So I'll just get into a few comments here. So Nightingale Gaming says, honestly, I would love to win the Carabao Cup, but feel a priority should be European qualification. Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, I think Eddie Howe wants to try and win. I think Eddie wants to win a trophy, and he's desperate to get us to a final. And we haven't been in the final of a League Cup since 1976, since we lost to Manchester City. So he wants to get us there, and he's desperate to. Freddie, good afternoon to you, Freddie. He says, can he channel, Tony? Yeah, thanks very much, Freddie. Cheers, mate, and thank you for subscribing as well, mate. Nice to have you on board. And Rolly says, hi, Tony. Hi, Rolly, how are you? Hope you're well, mate. Chaz says, Fabrizio Romano's just said that Man U are getting ready to put a bid in for Messi. Oh, well, that'll be interesting. I would have both Messi and Ronaldo. Somebody's got to clean Messi's boots. Absolutely, yeah. 100%. I mean, yeah. I mean, Ronaldo's he's not right at all, is he, Ronaldo? So, yeah, I would definitely get rid of. Well, they've got rid of Ronaldo now, haven't they? At Chelsea. Sorry, at Man United. So, yeah, let somebody else take Ronaldo on. Let somebody else pay the money. But who's going to pay the money for him? You might want to go to a club that's got Champions League, but who's going to, in their right mind, take him on? Nobody. The only place he's going to go is he's going to go and get a last payday, maybe somewhere like Saudi Arabia or somewhere like that. But other than that, Ronaldo ain't going to get a big club somewhere now. I think his career's finished. He should just hang his boots up, to be honest with you. He's had a good career. He should look back and say, do you know what? I've won this, won that, done this for Man United, done this for Real Madrid, done this with Juventus. Time to hang me boots up. Thank you very much. And then just call it a day. But, he wants one last hurrah, doesn't he? And one last big payday. But getting back to the match tomorrow, so I'm not sure what team will put out tomorrow. Whether Pope will play, because Pope played Saturday. Whether Trippier will play, because he played Saturday. So it's a case of wait and see. I mean, you'd expect probably Almiron will come back into it. Joe Linton will probably come back into the side. I would imagine so anyway. Yeah, we've just got to wait and see what the lineup is tomorrow. But at least we know a lot of players are fit, and we've got a couple of niggly injuries still. Like Alexander Isak is still not 100% ready yet, so that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, other than that, yeah, not too bad at all. I'll just go into a few comments here. See here we've got, yeah. Oh yeah, I read that one about Fabrizio, Chelsea and hi to Rolly. I would have Messi and Ronaldo. Oh yeah, we read that one, didn't we? Yeah, about Ronaldo's boots, definitely. Tony, you're getting a bit of feedback. Sounds like your phone. Yeah, my phone was close, my mate. I've just moved it across the way, so apologies for that. But yeah, I mean, depends what team we put out tomorrow. We'll find out tomorrow night, and it'll be absolutely fantastic. That I'm looking forward to the game because I'm just looking forward to getting back to the nitty gritty of Newcastle United, and it's absolutely fantastic. So can't wait at all. Can't wait for it, and so now we've been waiting for this for a long while now, and like I say, in some ways it was good that England went out the quarterfinals, because had England got the final of this tournament, or even to the third place playoff game, the chances are the likes of Trippier, Wilson and Pope, would they have been playing by Boxing Day? Maybe not. So in some ways, it was probably a blessing England went out in the quarterfinals. As much as we don't, we'd like to see England do well. But yeah, let's just see. But my thoughts for tomorrow, I'm going to say 2-0 Newcastle. I know some people are probably going to say 3-0, 4-0 or whatever. I'm going to say 2-0 to Newcastle tomorrow. That's me. That's what I think will happen in the game tomorrow. So it's just a case of wait and see. But yeah, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, if you haven't seen the video with Junior Turner on, who I had interviewing last week, give it a watch. It's a couple of hours, but I'll tell you what, it's a fantastic watch. He's a great guy. He's done a lot. He's had a lot going on in his life. So he tells you all about that. But an absolute fantastic guy. I did ask Junior Turner, if you got invited to, would you sing your Banks of the River Tyne in the middle of the pitch on a match day for Newcastle? And he says, of course he would. He says you would absolutely love to go on that pitch and sing his song there. And do you know what? I think that would be absolutely fantastic if he did, because can you imagine if it's before like a Liverpool or a Man United game and he comes out and sings that song? The crowd are up enough for it, but they're going to be up even more. That's just going to make it even more. So if guys on here, if anybody comes on here and they can get somebody within the club who can maybe go to the owners, let's try and make this happen for Junior, because I would love to see him do that. That would be absolutely fantastic. More so if it's a Sky game or a BT Sport game, because when he's on the pitch, they may actually go and put that on live as well on the TV. So, it would just be absolutely fantastic. So if anybody are close to Newcastle, like anybody knows anybody in the club or who can get to the owners and maybe try and make this happen, because, yeah, it would be absolutely fantastic. And I think a lot of people would like to see that as well. And you can imagine the fans. Can you imagine 52,000 fans singing the Banks of the River Tyne? Whew. Do you know what? That would be spine tingling. That would be absolutely fantastic. Chris, hi Chris, hope you're well, mate. He says, Ronaldo's shown he's a disruptive influence and a distraction in dressing room. Clubs are wary about him now, especially that huge salary. Yeah, I totally agree with you, mate. As I said before, if I was the owner of Newcastle and I was given a choice, or a manager in Newcastle, I was given the choice, right, you can sign Messi or you can sign Ronaldo, but you can only have one or the other. I would say I'll have Messi all day long over Ronaldo, because Messi does not cause a fuss. He doesn't think he's bigger than the club. He just gets on with it. And he seems to be a fantastic guy. Night and day game and 2 on Newcastle tomorrow. Yeah, I'll go with that one. Chelsea is 2-0 for me. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, let's just see. But I think Karius could start tomorrow, maybe in goal. Back four, I think we could be in for a surprise. It could be Trippier, Botman, Cher. Not sure about Dan Burnett because he didn't play at the weekend. But then a lot of players didn't play because we had a behind the closed doors game against Middlesbrough, so against the old enemy, the Smuggies. So maybe a few of them were playing in that game as well. Midfield, I would like to see Bruno back in there. Whether he will be or not, I don't know. But Joe Willock should be back in, I reckon, as well. I think we're just guessing. If St. Maximin's out, I expect it'll probably be Fraser or Murphy who takes his place, probably more like Murphy. Hopefully Callum Wilson will be there up front. Yeah, it would be great to see, wouldn't it? Callum Wilson to score against his old team Bournemouth. That'd be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? And yeah. But guys, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It really does push the channel up the search settings and helps it found more easily. Also, if you're brand new to the channel like Freddie is today, please hit the subscribe button. That is free to do so and also helps the channel grow. Also by hitting the bell notification that tells you when I've got a live video on, or I've got a pre-recorded video and any upcoming live shows as well. So yeah, I mean, we're all looking forward to it. We can't wait for the Premier League to start again, but we've got a Carabao Cup game tomorrow. It's a very important game. We need to be in that quarterfinals because then you're one step away from that two-legged semi-final. And the good thing with that is it's a home and an away match. So if we can get the quarterfinals, get a home draw for the quarterfinals, and then hopefully from there we avoid one of the big guns, and then we get through to the semi-finals. We'll take whoever we get in the semi-finals because remember it's a two-legged affair, and then that'll hopefully get us to the final. I mean, Man United have got to play Burnley, and to me, Burnley could easily go then turn Man United over. So it's not a done deal that Man United's going to beat Burnley. And remember, the manager of Burnley, Vincent Kompany, played for Man City. So there's a bit of rivalry there as well. So he'll want to get one over Man United as well. So as he always did with Man City. So there's going to be a bit of needle there from the managers. But yeah, so don't rule Burnley out. And wouldn't it be funny if Burnley beat Man U now and we get Burnley and beat them? So it would be absolutely fantastic. And then don't forget this Man City Liverpool. So then one of the big six are going to go out the tournament. So even better. But yeah, absolutely spot on. But yeah, guys, I'll just go into some more comments. Rolly says, I'm going 2-0 as well. Yeah, Rolly, 2-0 is about a good score, isn't it? And I mean, yeah, definitely. So, guys, like I say, I'm going to start wrapping up now because it was only a short show about what Eddie Howe said in his press conference reaction. But yeah, as usual, Eddie Howe does a great press conference. If you haven't seen it, click on Newcastle United's website or go onto YouTube. It's on there as well. And watch his full interview. Absolutely brilliant as always. And the guy always talks sense anyway. And he always says it as it is. He always tells the truth. You know, he doesn't try and butter things up and make it sound better than it actually is. Chris is saying 3-0 Newcastle against Bournemouth. I'll be happy with 2-0, but if we score 3, then yeah, even better. But main thing is, let's just get out there. Let's take the game to Bournemouth, get an early goal, and then just make them come out and play. Because if they do try and sit back, if we get an early goal, they'll have to come out if they want to try and equalise. And then by them coming out, we may nip in the back of there and score another 2 or a couple of goals. So yeah, who knows? But yeah, absolutely. And as I say, it's onwards and upwards. If we get through the cup, we go to the quarterfinals, and I really can't wait. Chaz says, thanks for the updates, Tony. Take care. Yeah, Chaz, thanks very much, mate. Yes, so like I say, I'm on with John Sinclair and Rolly tonight at 5:30. Then I'm on a Bournemouth channel at can't remember what the channel's called now. It's but I'm on a Bournemouth channel at 8 p.m. tonight, so doing the match preview with them. So I was very honoured to be invited to go on there and help them with a preview. And then also tomorrow night I will be doing a match reaction. So that will be round about 6:30 tomorrow. Yeah, so that'll be about 6:30 tomorrow because 8:15 kickoff. So yeah, the team news should come out about 7:15. So yeah, about 6:30 there will be a match reaction show tomorrow. But as I say, guys, please hit the likes. It really does help the channel up the search settings. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe and the bell notifies you of all my shows as well. So I'm currently at 174 subscribers. I'm 26 away from 200. Still a couple of weeks to go. If I could get there before this year's finished, then that would be fantastic. If I don't, I've still been brilliant considering I've only been going 2 months. And then it's onwards and upwards in 2023. I really want to make a success in my channel and hope it continues to grow as well. And also, I hope that Andrew can come on again. Andrew Musgrove from the Chronicle. Hopefully, he can come on again in January. At some point in January, and we can get an update on what's going on in the transfer window. So he might have some updates. He may not. He may do, but he may not. So only if he's not busy, I'll try and get Andrew on in January. And Junior said he would come back on the show. Not a problem at all. Ches says, Tony, can you tweet me the Bournemouth channel you'll be on when you remember Grandad? Yeah, no, it's the name of the channel. It's hang on, I'll tell you exactly what the channel's called because it's just one of those. It's just one of those channels, and it's got such a long name with it as well. It's called Up the Cherries. Yeah, Up the Cherries. EFC Bournemouth. So they are Up the Cherries. So there you go. Yeah. Brilliant. So that's what I'm on. Up the Cherries, Bournemouth. But I will link that channel up so people can find it, and then I'll be on there tonight. And I like the little bit of cheek from Ches as well. Thanks very much for that, mate. But yeah, guys, take care and enjoy whatever you're doing for the rest of the afternoon. And don't get up to too much mischief. And yeah, if you're coming on John's channel at 5:30, I will see you around then. If not, I will see you back on my channel tomorrow at 6:30 with a warm-up show. Until then, it's a goodbye from me. Bye-bye for now. Ta-ra, bye. Ta-bye.